Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler. Wow, that's a good one. What's
Yeah.
up, Ed?
What's going on, dude? Um,
Crazy world, man.
so we are pretty pretty big time into fantasy football, right?
Oh yeah.
We're both in two dynasty leagues, which some of y'all who are listening are probably thinking that we should be submitted into a mental institute. I agree with you on that.
100%.
Um, it's so weird as an adult being so engaged into fantasy football and putting in the time and effort to try to make the most perfect team and coming up and not winning a single game. I'm not speaking from experience I've had those seasons before, but
Well, yeah,
like,
I've had those where no matter which running back you pick, the running back on the bench always outscores the guys you start.
right. And so like I love fantasy football because you trash talk with friends, you try to do your best, blah blah blah, whatever. One of the things I've never been a part of is a league with a last place punishment, right? Like I used to be a commissioner and I've tried to create that, but the person who would always lose, this shout out to TR, he knows who he is.
Roby.
Never came through and did his punishments, right?
Right.
Uh, um, so, have you ever come across any great punishments, whether it be on Facebook or YouTube or
Well, I mean, there's
TikTok?
always the one where it's like, you got to get a tattoo, which I think is stupid. That's drawing the line.
Right.
Um, Man, I mean, there's those like usually it's hey, you got to wear this shirt or you have to change your team name to this or whatever. But nothing really cool where I was like, you know what, I want to make that happen in my league.
So, like, what if there was one to where last place would have to nair their whole body? Is that too much?
I mean, yeah, I'm
Except for their head.
I'm pretty close to my beard here, but I mean, if I don't have to do, because I'm worried that if I nair my hair or I shave my head,
Doesn't
it'll
come
never
back.
come back.
Right.
That's my largest fear in life is that I
So,
will lose my hair.
I've actually come across a list, and some of these are actually pretty good. Some of them are like, meh. I feel like if you're a fan of Impractical Jokers, like their final joke or whatever it's called,
The punishment at the
the
end, yeah.
punishment. I could see a lot of things like that happening if you're able to rig some of them. For instance, the first one is taking the SAT or the ACTs and posting your scores online.
That's actually pretty good. I like that one.
Open mic comedy or being a motivational speaker. I would make it to where you have to go be a motivational speaker somewhere, right? Like,
I mean, that's a pretty decent punishment. You'd have to get. The problem is though, is that with these punishments, you have to have guys that are cool enough or gals, whatever, that are
right.
cool enough to be like, all right, yeah, I got last place, I'll do it.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know if some of these leagues that have this stuff, if they have contracts that they have to sign or like
I mean,
how.
and like that's another thing about fantasy football that has pissed me off is that you have to get these rules that are basically written by a fucking lawyer, right? And if they're
Well,
not, the people that are in your league will weasel around and try to find ways to cheat the system. It irritates the fire out of me.
one of the most famous ones that have come out over the years is the Waffle House slash IHOP marathon, to where you
Oh,
have
for
to eat.
24 hours.
Yes.
But if you eat like a waffle, it takes an hour off or something like that.
This one I would be interested to see participate in NFL combine drills. So you would have to get the outline of the drills, get them set up, and have this person do it. Then I think you should have to post their times too.
So I think
Times and
based on that
results.
idea right there, I think what you do is you have the combine events and you rate them, right? If you come in first, you get 10 points.
Yeah.
Second is like 7 points. And do it like, like how Mario Kart does it, where
Yes.
and so then you have 5 events. And so if you're starting a dynasty league, this is how you set the first draft order.
Yep.
You have a combine, and whoever scores the highest gets the number 1 pick. And so
Did they do that in the league?
I don't think so.
I think they did something along those lines.
They did
but
something very
it
similar.
involved alcohol.
But yeah, it wasn't a mild beer chug, was it?
Maybe.
I don't remember. I haven't seen the league in so long. And the FX executives, if you're listening, you could bring that show back. It was really pretty good.
I'll be on it. I mean, just
all
saying,
those guys are comedians. They're pretty funny. Some guys have actually made it onto other shows, and a couple guys have just been on roasts on Comedy Central.
So this one is actually my pick for if you ever decide to do it in your league. For those y'all who are just now joining us, Zach is the commissioner of one of our leagues.
Put some respect on my name.
Photo shoot for a calendar. I like that one. And
That's
then
a good one.
A bedroom poster. Now, I don't know if it should be like a bedroom poster of the winner or everybody else. Like make a wall of winners that you have to look at every morning whenever you wake up.
I think we should do a calendar, and it should be the winner, and like that person has the trophy, and they're doing different poses with the trophy.
12 months.
And everyone that loses gets that trophy or gets that calendar, and they have to put it up like in their office or whatever. And so that way every month they see that person that won with the trophy. I think that's pretty cool. It sounds expensive, but
put it on the board.
But in our league, we don't even have a trophy. We just play for the cash.
Another one that's always a good one is picking up the tab.
Picking up the tab for what?
Like going to the bar or whatever, right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that costs a couple $100.
Laundry service for the winner.
Ooh.
Having to go pick up dry cleaning.
I like that one. Anything that involves doing chores for me is a win. I hate chores.
A mystery bag / roulette wheel of punishment.
No, I don't like that because if it turns into a tattoo or a piercing, I would be upset.
Well, I mean, of course, you'd put the limits on there, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like the freezing plunge where you have to go jump into like ice water or something, right? So those are some good ones. If you have one in your league or a previous league that you've been in, comment below. Let us know what it is because I'm always looking for something. I personally would change it up instead of doing the Waffle House or IHOP experience. I would do the Olive Garden marathon on the never-ending pasta bowls. For every bowl of pasta that you eat, you get 1 hour knocked off. Good luck.
Hey, so now that we're on Olive Garden, have you ever actually done the never-ending pasta bowl?
I have.
Do you notice anything about the bowls they bring you?
I do. The very first one, they bring out the biggest bowl they can find in the back, and they load that son of a bitch up. And then after that, they're these like little children's plates.
Yeah, that's what I was. So the first one is like an adult-sized bowl. The second one is maybe a little bit smaller. And then the third one is like a thimble they bring out. Right. And it has like 2 noodles in it and like a drop of sauce.
I'm pretty sure they gave me a shot glass of pasta the last time I was there.
It's like, what are you doing?
Hey man, I ain't mad about it. That shit's good.
It is good. It's okay. I mean, it's overrated Italian food because it's not really Italian food, but it's okay. It works in a pinch.
Well, bro,
speaking of punishments, I want to say one thing about punishments. Next week, there'll be a video of Ed's sweet ass getting shot by an airsoft gun. Stay tuned.
Yay. Well, now that I'm depressed, you ready to get this started?
Yeah, I figured we would kick off the show there on a good note.
Good note, my ass. Ha!
See what you did there. Woo!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. I'm Ed.
I'm Zach.
And here we are again, assholes, for another episode. A lot of sports, a lot of shit to talk about. I'm going to carry on the depression.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Last night, Game 6 World Series, Astros got embarrassed by the Atlanta Braves. Wow. The now world champion Atlanta Braves, 7-0. 7-0?
Yeah, 7-0. First of all, yeah, we're depressed, but hats off to the Braves. They did good. They won the series. They definitely wanted it more than the Astros. They played well. They're a good team. They're well coached. Good job, guys.
Well, so I'm going to go into sourpuss mode. And as y'all know, or you know, I'm big into conspiracies. And so one of my conspiracy theories on this whole thing is that Manfred told the Astros, hey, look, your punishment has been given out, but from here on out, anytime you make it to the World Series on your own, you lose. And last night gave me some hope that that might be real, because that was not the Astros team that we've seen this entire postseason. This is the Astros team that looks like they just started the season and they're expecting a game tomorrow. They had no heart. They are at home with a sold-out crowd, with the energy being at a completely different level than it's ever been before. Granted, I've told you, I don't have faith in the starting lineup. The bullpen looked garbage yesterday, or the arm pen, depending on what side of PETA you are. Just looked like garbage. Our middle relief, the Houston Astros middle relief, has been stellar throughout the whole postseason, and they've picked up the slack where need be. The bats, we're not there. Now, I don't know if they ran out of trash cans last night, or like the clickers weren't working, or what the fuck's going on, but like there was nothing there. And then on top of that, you can go ahead and throw that umpires were just not giving the calls that were needed. Right now, I know, oh, Ed, you sound like a sore loser and this and that. Go back and watch Bregman. What was it, in the fourth maybe? There was a pitch. It was 2-2. Breaking ball down south, well below the box, down north towards his ankles, 90, and they call it a strike. And Bregman even looked at him and goes, really? What the fuck is this about, right?
Yeah, and with a pitcher like Max Fried, look, Max Fried is a great pitcher, and Absolutely. He pitched well last night. He pitched well all season. He was, one of the best pitchers the Braves had. But he's a left-handed pitcher that works with downward tilt. If you give him 3 or 4 inches below the strike zone, he's unhittable. And honestly, they shut out the Astros last night. You started off saying that you didn't have faith in the lineup. I don't know where that comes from. The Astros were the number 1 offensive team all season.
No. I don't have faith in the starting lineup as far as the pitching. I'm sorry.
Okay. The rotation. Okay.
Yes.
It threw me off. I was like, what are you talking? So anyway, now that that's cleared up, regardless, though, you're correct about there's no fire with that team last night. When the Braves were getting in the batter's box, they were ready to compete from pitch number 1. They were ready to fight and claw to get on base. They didn't care. And I felt like Yordan Alvarez is just waving over breaking balls. Carlos Correa looks completely fucking lost in the batter's box. Jose Altuve looks like a shell of himself. And then you said that we ran out of trash cans or clickers. Well, you need to go work for Sports Illustrated and go fuck yourself. I'm tired of hearing about the fucking cheating. That shit is over with. Even the John Boy guy, the guy that fucking broke it or whatever and broke it all down, it shows that when the Astros got caught basically by the White Sox, they quit doing that shit.
I know. That happened as a joke.
Oh, I know you're joking. I'm not mad. But I'm saying, but I am mad about Sports Illustrated. After the series was over, they took their like parting shot as, hey, the Astros had another chance to prove that they could win a World Series without cheating, and they blew it. Well, you know what, Sports Illustrated? You blew it. You blew it a long time ago when you turned into the fucking National Enquirer when it comes to sports. Nobody trusts you anymore. Get lost with your bullshit.
I need to know, any listener right now, tell me the last time you bought a Sports Illustrated. Tell me the last time you actually even thought about Sports Illustrated or went to their website.
I bought a Sports Illustrated in 2017 when the Astros won the World Series.
That was probably the last time I bought one just for that cover. I remember growing up, we got one of those subscriptions based off of like something my mom signed up for or whatever, right? And so I would get one every week or every month or whatever, and I would look at it, right? But now I probably went a good 4 years without even thinking about Sports Illustrated. come to find out, like you said, that they're not really like respected anymore. They got bought out by a group called the Authentic Brands Group.
Oh, great.
Um,
So
back in like
they're just trying to get
2019 or
clicks,
some shit
man.
like that. How much do you think they sold for?
I mean, magazines are dying
Correct.
and they're mostly internet based. So I don't know, 200 million.
See, I would think somewhere around that range or up, because in my mind, prior to like rediving into Sports Illustrated, that was a respected name
Yeah,
growing
they
up,
have a
right?
prestigious name. You're
The
exactly right.
swimsuit edition,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
always looked out for, right?
Yep, that's
It
correct.
sold for $110 million.
Yeah, see, that's not very high.
To me, that's low for such a, a well-known company for at least 20 years.
Well, I mean,
right?
the brand name alone should be worth more than that, right?
Right. And they sold for 110 million. So that shows you the value on it. Now I know a lot of y'all are like, "Oh, 110 million, that's a lot of money." Not when you've been a big name in the sports world for so long, right?
Right.
How many times did you used to hear, "Oh, Sports Illustrated reported this, Sports Illustrated said this." Now you never hear that. Now it's Stephen A. Smith said this, or Max Kellerman said that, or
Right.
whatever,
Steve Bayless
right?
or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Like Sports Illustrated, nobody refers to Sports Illustrated. So their article, as far as towards the Astro, means squat to me. I would rather go read some Facebook junkie warrior and their opinion on the Astros before I go check out Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I'm more of just bringing it up that I can't believe that they still think that that's a national story. I mean, even Joe Buck during the broadcast kept bringing it up, and it's like I agree that the scandal is bad. Like, it's not a good look for the Astros or baseball or anybody involved. I understand that, but that was 5 years ago, and it's been proven that every other team had something similar. You're having players that are, having to retire or leaving the league. Every time they do an interview, if they're asked about it, if they're honest, they mention, well, they're not the only ones. They're just the ones getting punished. They all say that. So I don't know. To me, until the Yankees let that letter be unsealed, they're all fucking cheaters. Yeah. Every single one of them. So I don't care anymore.
You brought up Joe Buck, and one of the things that I watched during this series, did you notice he didn't have the same like energy he had when the Astros played Washington or when the Yankees played or anything? Like, he was very kind of like calmed down. He wasn't like going real in depth on one individual
honestly,
player.
I liked his broadcast this time. I mean, to be fair, full disclosure, I'm a person that really likes Chris Collinsworth. And I know a lot of people don't like him. And I don't know why. I feel like Chris Collinsworth brings something to the booth that not everyone else can do. Like, I don't want to say that he is the best, because I don't think he's the best, but he talks about a lot of stuff that's, off the field. And he talks about a lot of stuff that's how, the team prepared during practice that week and all that kind of stuff. And like, I like those insights, but some people, now he always says, here's a guy and all that kind of stuff. Like, I get those things, but
here's a guy,
but he's somebody who's passionate about his job, and he tries to bring a good product to the air. And I feel like Joe Buck did that too. Now, we all know that he likes to be on Aaron Judge's dick, and he likes to be on Juan Soto's dick, and but to be fair, those guys are gravitational players, right? Those are guys that the fan bases really like. So, because like when you think about the Yankees, who do you think about?
Do
you think about Gleyber Torres?
Yogi Berra?
Well, no, but I'm saying like right now, the current team. You think about Gleyber Torres?
No.
You think about any of their starting pitching other than Garrett Cole?
No.
You think about Aaron Judge?
I honestly don't even think about Aaron Judge anymore.
Oh, well, I mean, I do. But, like, when I think about the Nationals, whatever.
Oh, the Nationals, I mean, the only person I can probably name on the team right now is Juan Soto.
But, like, what's terrible, I don't even think about the Nationals. I think about, that's the team that Bryce Harper used to play for. Is that weird?
No.
Or, like, that's the team that traded Max Scherzer. That's the team that traded Trey Turner. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but anyway, the point is that Joe Buck would talk about those players. Now he gushed about them. He went over the top, but like his calling of the game was good.
Right.
His knowledge of both teams and their rosters was not exceptional, but it was above average. It was definitely better than like when you watch ESPN like Wednesday Night Baseball, right? Those guys, they don't know anything about the team. Half the time they can't even pronounce the players' names properly. So, and then I don't know. Alex Rodriguez just needs to get off TV. That guy's horrible.
Till next postseason, I guess we'll just hear Joe Buck on football for now. With baseball being over with,
together are great, by the way.
With baseball being over with, we now enter the offseason. Biggest names for Houston fans, Carlos Correa. Where is he going?
I honestly think he's going to play for the Yankees. That's what I think. I
mean, the money-wise, I think is there. I don't think he is their missing piece. I
think if Carlos Correa signs with the Yankees, they're not going to win the World Series there either.
I'm wondering it because didn't we have speculation that George Springer was probably going to sign with the Yankees?
I never thought he was going to go to the Yankees. I never thought he would go to the Blue Jays either, though.
True. I think Carlos Correa is probably going to surprise us. I don't see him going to Boston. I don't see him going to Yankees. I could see him maybe going out west. I could even see him stay in Texas and go up to the Rangers. Now, again, I'm not up to date as far as contracts with other teams and stuff like that, but I want to say I read reports where the Rangers were possibly in the mix to snag him.
I have not heard that. So I feel like Carlos Correa is kind of a polarizing player. So his defense and his beating of his chest, like me against the world type thing, I want to say that eliminates like the Red Sox and that eliminates the Dodgers for sure.
Right.
But I say that, and then if the Dodgers came calling and they were going to offer offer Carlos Correa $45 million a year, right? Like I think that all that stuff goes by the wayside. But then on top of that, do you think the fan base in LA is going to welcome Carlos Correa?
Absolutely.
Why? He is the face of the cheating scandal in Houston. Him and Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman.
Because at the end of the day, fans are stupid, and whenever they get a big name and they start winning like outrageous amounts, they're going to be like, okay, well, that was when he was in Houston, but now that he's in LA, like it.
Well, I mean, they did forget about Mookie Betts cheating, I guess.
Right. So I think at the end of the day, but more than likely, like the 2017 Dodgers that are still on that team, how are they going to feel if he goes onto that team, right?
Right, and that's another thing. He's got to deal with assholes in the clubhouse and all that kind of stuff. Well,
right.
So I'm looking at the top free agents. Okay, so do you care to get the top 10? Do you care to guess who the number one free agent is considered according to MLB.com?
Carlos Correa.
Carlos Correa, 27-year-old shortstop, free agent. Okay, so other notable shortstops that are free agents: Corey Seager, LA Dodgers. Right, so there is an opening at shortstop for the Dodgers. There's also an opening for the Colorado Rockies. Trevor Story is available. And Marcus Semien, he is available from Toronto. So is it possible Carlos Correa goes to Toronto?
Oh. Marcus Semien had a pretty decent season this year, so I'm not saying his bats are close to Correa's or better than Correa's.
They're not. And plus Marcus Semien is 31, Correa's 27.
Could you imagine Correa up there with the bats that they already have in Toronto?
It does say that Marcus Semien hit 45 home runs.
He did.
So there's that. But he's 31, right?
True.
But 45 home runs is 21 more than Carlos Correa hit. That's a lot.
Yeah, but RBI wise and on base percentage, who had better?
Oh, I don't know about all that stuff. I haven't gone that deep into it because I don't think that we're going to see these guys sign anytime soon. Javier Baez is somebody who's also available.
Really?
Yeah, he was traded. He was traded mid-season to the Mets.
Yep.
And it says he's ineligible for a qualifying offer. So I guess he's just an unrestricted free agent.
We're not even talking about that. What if the Mets signed Carlos Correa?
I mean, that's happened before. Carlos Beltran signed there instead of signing with the Astros. Could happen. I mean, I feel like he's going to stay in Houston. Like if I had to make a bet today, I'm going to bet he stays in Houston.
You want to do an early prediction now?
No, well, I guess what I'm saying is I feel like that because of the way he stood up for the team, and I feel like he wants to play with Jose Altuve, and Jose Altuve is not going anywhere.
Okay, so I'm with you on that, but I think the Astros offseason gameplay, as far as who they sign, who they trade, or pick up, all that is going to be a factor for Carlos Correa, right? Yes, the money is the number one thing probably for him. He's already got a championship. Does he want more? Yes, but at this point, I think he's looking for a payday, right?
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't had a big payday. So, yeah, and he's already won a championship in Houston. They've been a part of what the infield has been combined for the most postseason games together. So, right. I mean,
his boy is Altuve, but how many more years does Altuve have? Right.
I would say he's got 5 more years.
Okay, but if Carlos Correa is looking for a 10-year contract, is he willing to?
I don't know if he's going to get a 10-year contract.
Well, I'm just saying, because that's what the trend of 2021 was, right?
Well, no, I mean, I would disagree with that. I think the trend was a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, we saw a bunch of 10-year contracts. Right. And how did those 10-year contracts play out? Right? Mike Trout is dead. Who's the guy that played with the Cardinals forever, like the best hitter we've ever seen? Albert Pujols. He signed a 10-year contract, and they basically got 6.5 years out of him, and then they let him go to the Dodgers. They fucking released him to go to the Dodgers. Even back in the day, Alex Rodriguez, his 10-year contract with the Rangers crippled the Rangers.
Yeah,
they were not allowed. Because of him, they were not able to build a team, and they had to deal with basically just paying for him. So I think 10-year contracts are going to go by the wayside. I think he's going to get a deal for 6 to 8 years. Probably, I'm thinking 7 years, $38 million a season.
Houston, 5 years, $35 million.
I don't think that. So I think Houston, if he signs with Houston, Houston could get a hometown discount. But I think if he goes to the Yankees or the Mets,
he's getting a big time.
He's going to get a big. He's going to he will only leave for a big time deal, right? And I'm not 100% sure that he doesn't just want to come back to Houston just because.
Do you think his fucking phone was blowing up last night from clubs?
I guarantee that as soon as the last out was made to Freddy Freeman's glove, the agent for Carlos Correa, his agent's phone was blowing all 6 lines, including the 4 burners in the drawer. They were all blowing up, guaranteed.
So you mentioned another one that people are eyeballing right now, Freddy Freeman.
And I was going to say Freddy Freeman just beat the Astros in the World Series. Yep. Yuli Gurriel signed a 1-year contract for this year.
He's not coming to Houston.
Why not?
The Braves are probably going to keep him.
I mean, he's 32.
I don't know. We've seen weirder shit, right?
Exactly. We've seen weirder shit. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't think he's going to come to the Astros, but that would be pretty cool. He's a left-handed hitter. We like left-handed hitters in our ballpark. It's got the short porch in left field that he can hit, because that dude has power to all fields. He has legitimate power. Kidding. So I think he would like hitting in a hitter's ballpark, right? Then, you have the lineup that he would be a part of, right? He doesn't have to do it all. So there'd be a lot less pressure on him. Plus, there's the possibility of having a DH. He could take a couple of days off and just hit. I mean, there's all kinds of things that sound good there.
So you and I, we could actually sit here for fucking hours and talk about what could possibly happen. So I will say in the upcoming weeks, we start doing our research and breaking down MLB free agents and possible trades. Whether we're going to post them on social media, Facebook, or our website that's under construction right now, or even talk about it on here, right? But I think fans, we need y'all to know. We need your opinion. Who's going where? Who's getting who? Let us know, and we'll feed off of that. See how that goes, because we don't know everything. Zach knows baseball well better than I do.
I just read
and the English language too.
I have not been. I've never been accused of speaking well, but in this case, I'll take the win.
There you go.
So we'll transition. I guess there's talks right now. They're going to sign Dusty Baker too. So we'll see what happens there.
So
something else came out yesterday, right before the World Series, that I kind of think we need to talk about.
What's that?
The first playoff rankings for NCAA for football.
My phone was blowing up whenever that was taking place. And at the end of the day, like after looking at it, I'm not completely mad with it because we still have 4 weeks left of football for college football.
Yeah.
So for out the gate, I'm not mad about it. Do I agree with the 4 teams that are in it? Yeah, for the most part. Oregon is kind of iffy to me, but I'll go ahead and ride that for this week, and we'll see how it plays out for the rest of the week.
If Oregon is iffy to you,
okay,
who do you replace them with in the top 4?
I still think Cincinnati needs a shot in there.
Okay. We're good. That's exactly what I was going to say.
And the people have argued with me on the streets about this. Random people just walk up to me whenever I'm walking the streets randomly in the middle of the night. Hey, you think Cincinnati's good? No. The argument is always Cincinnati doesn't have that great of a record because of who they've played. People argue.
Yeah, they played teams that were ranked when they played them, and then now those teams have fallen off. So,
no, Cincinnati hadn't even played a ranked team.
Well, I thought they played a ranked team earlier, and then now they're not ranked anymore.
The only ranked team that they played early on was Notre Dame, and they were 9 at the time. Outside of that, they haven't played a ranked team. Right.
And Notre Dame is still ranked 10th. So
that kind of contradicts my whole argument whenever I bring up Ohio State. Ohio State hasn't played anybody ranked except for Oregon, and they lost. Well, this past week they played Penn State at 20, and they beat them by 9 points. Right.
They struggled a little bit, but I mean,
right.
But Penn State's not even ranked now.
Now they're not, but whenever they played, they were.
Well, no, right? But what I'm saying is you're Penn State, you're ranked 20th. Mm-hmm. You play the number 5 team in the country, and you lose by 9 points in a close game, and you fall out of the top 25?
Well, you also have to look at who else was in there at the time and how they performed and who they played, right? So
I guess. I just this whole thing is weird to me.
I guess that's what draws fans to college football is the soap opera that is who should be where, why somebody is there.
Okay, so when we look at this list, let's only look at the top 10 because I feel like 11 to 25 is probably okay. I'm okay with it. I don't like Notre Dame being there. I think Oklahoma State should be top 10, but whatever. So do we agree with the list of if we look at it as teams that could win the national title?
Within the top 10, saying any of those could win national?
I mean, yeah. Are we in agreement that these are the best 10 teams that could win a national title?
No.
Okay.
I'm still not impressed with Oklahoma, right?
Right. But I'm
don't believe
understanding why Oklahoma is at 8 because they're 9-0.
Right. I get that, and the kid who stepped in for Spencer Rattler had a hell of a game.
Caleb Williams.
This past Saturday, what he had 6 touchdowns for like 700 yards.
He is legit.
He is somebody that I'm actually going to watch and have some respect for. Spencer Rattler can fucking choke on a dick for all I care.
He was so highly recruited, and I mean he throws the ball great, but everybody looks good in t-shirt and shorts,
right?
And that's what we found out. He's just not good when it comes to the game. Anyway, sorry.
With everything else, looking at it, ranking wise, sure, we'll go with it, whatever. As far as winning national championship, I only see maybe 3 teams out of this list that can be potential winners. That's Georgia,
Alabama, and who?
And Michigan State.
Who has Michigan State played other than Michigan, though? That's my concern. And then they played Michigan, and Michigan's ranked high, but Michigan has played no one either.
They played Miami when they were ranked 24th, beat them 38-17. They played Nebraska, which I thought Nebraska has played decent ball this year. They just lost some tough games. Then there were some games they got blown out on too, right? And Michigan, yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that. They really haven't played anything spectacular. But at the same time, like I told you, I'm not going to put Ohio State up there because they haven't played anybody spectacular either.
No, and the only time they did, they played Oregon and they lost, and somehow they're still ranked above, or they're I'm sorry, I'm looking at the standings. they're ranked above Cincinnati, who's undefeated. They're ranked above Oklahoma, who's undefeated. I don't like, to me, Cincinnati should be 5. That's where I'm at. Now, I know that there's a lot of Ohio State fans that would not be happy if I say Michigan should be ranked above Ohio State, but I don't think that. So don't come at me yet. But Cincinnati and Oklahoma should be ranked above Ohio State. That's the way that I see it. Now, I don't think that Cincinnati has a shot to win a national title. So that's why I agree they should be 5. But I mean, on this list though, the top 2 teams are the only 2 teams I think that can win the national title.
Yep.
I don't think that anyone else on this list has a legitimate shot at the national title.
I will change my opinion if Ohio State can beat Michigan and Michigan State in the upcoming weeks. If they can beat those 2 teams and still finish out the rest of the opponents, okay, maybe they're going to stand a chance on it, because I think Michigan and Michigan State are their 2 biggest problems looking forward, right?
So I agree with you in like principle, like based on this is who they played and these guys are ranked where they're ranked. But I don't agree with those are like, I don't agree with Ohio State beating Michigan and Michigan State as those being like large hurdles, because I don't know why Michigan and Michigan State are ranked as high as they are, considering they've played no one. Michigan State, okay, maybe, but Michigan State struggled with Michigan. And so I think if Michigan loses to Ohio State, that just makes a case that Michigan State is not as good as we thought.
Well, okay, so what about Wake Forest? Do you think they stand a chance?
I mean, Wake Forest, it's tough, right? Because Wake Forest they're not playing in the same, like the conference they play in is not as high.
Correct.
Right? So just by default, their schedule is not as difficult. I mean, like the best win they have, I'm trying to make sure that I know exactly who they played. Hold on 1 second, because if you click on the team, it'll start scrolling to these random ass games. So you gotta watch what you're talking about. But they've beat Florida State, but Florida State is not really very good. They beat Syracuse in overtime. Syracuse is not very good. They gave up 56 points to Army.
Yeah, and And same time, Army gave up 70.
Yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, they won, but 56 points to Army.
Yeah.
I don't think they've scored 56 points against anyone. That's their highest point. They scored 52 points against Connecticut. They scored 49 points against Mercer. Who the fuck is Mercer? So I don't know. I mean, okay, so they're undefeated. That's the only reason why they're there. But Oklahoma State is better. Auburn is better. Texas A&M is better.
Yeah.
Baylor is better.
Ole Miss, but they've lost too. So,
dude, anyway,
college football is very frustrating, right?
It's not. The fans are frustrating. Every college football fan can look at that whole top 25, and they know that the only two teams that have a shot are Georgia and Alabama, and we're gonna see that game. Like, that game will have already been played before the playoffs.
True.
And even if so, and that's the other thing, right? So they're ranked 1 and 2. So Georgia and Alabama play each other. If Georgia wins and the final score is like 21-20, Alabama's not going to fall down.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they? So this whole thing is for naught. At the end of the day, Georgia is going to play Alabama for the national title. That's what's going to happen.
I'm looking forward. I can't wait for national championship. I can't wait for college playoffs. It's going to be great. But, the thing is here we are talking about college football. We've got another week coming up on us right now. I don't know about y'all, but I've been talking to people that have joined rrsportsbetting.com, and they've been betting on college football, and they're making a killing. They started off with their free $100 gameplay just from signing up and using Wannabe, texting to the code.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making money on college football right now. I don't understand why you're not. Like, if you're not doing it right now, you need to get on it, right? You text 1877 bet and win. Use the code Wannabe. You get a free $100 in gameplay or no juice till the beginning of the season, right? Or the new year. Sounds like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I make all my picks. That's how I make a little bit of money on the side. And two good guys, they settle up with you on Monday. Everything's taken care of. No deposit required. Just text that number. Text Wannabe to that number, 877 bet and win, and they'll take care of you.
Dude, I'm telling you, on rrsportsbetting.com, I'm looking at the lines right now. Wake Forest is an underdog against North Carolina right now. They're at plus 120 on the money line with 2.5 points. Like, I'm betting that right now, okay? If Wake Forest is the real deal, granted, I haven't watched any of their games, I'm going to watch that. Another one, where'd it go? Ohio State's playing Nebraska. Ohio State is the underdog, or Nebraska is the underdog, excuse me. Yeah. And I want to say they're like plus 15 and a half. Like, lock that in right now. Looking at Nebraska right now, all their losses, they've never lost by more than 13 points, and that was one time. Outside of that, they're probably averaging around 9 points, right? So why wouldn't you take the points on Nebraska? That's my opinion. Yeah, RR Sports Betting right now has Nebraska at 15.5. Lock that in today. Sign up. Use the code Wannabe. Get your free $100, and then win from that, right? You're playing with house money.
Exactly. That's the whole point. That's why this offer is incredible, right? And you don't have to make a deposit. You don't have to set up a bank account. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You text the Wannabe, text Wannabe to 877 bet and win. They set you up. You get $100.
I don't understand how you're not doing that right now. We've had many people that have already signed on and joined, and they used their 100. Like I said, they've either won. A lot of them have won. Some have lost. That's just part of it, right?
Yeah, and that's the way that it works. I mean, it just depends on what you bet. I mean, if you follow me, we talked about there being a lot of underdogs that won. I had the New Orleans Saints winning outright.
Right.
So, I mean, all that kind of stuff could happen too. Of course, I'm a little mad that I've already made bets for the NFL, and I took the Packers plus 1 point and just found out Aaron Rodgers is not playing.
Yep. Aaron
So
Rodgers
that's
out with
fun.
COVID.
So that's the risk that you take betting early, right? You could wait till the lines are out completely, but I'm a degenerate, so I do what I want. But yeah, I've already got a couple bets in for this week, and it's Wednesday. We're not even close. I thought the lines were going to move, so that's why I started putting money down. I'm looking right now, and they actually haven't moved at all, so I jumped on nothing. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Our sports betting, they have the lines out almost immediately after the games are over, so you can bet anytime. It's good to go, man.
Absolutely. Well, the next time you're at your local mall and you're at the tilt playing in the animal grabbing machine and your animal gets stuck and you go get that attendant to come try to get your stuffed Pikachu, go ahead and tell him about Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports. Maybe he'll give him something to listen to while he's watching all the little snotty brats running around playing skee ball or basketball.
The next time that you're in the waiting room for your proctology appointment, start playing Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports on your phone like it's on speakerphone.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you've noticed, but anytime you're in a waiting room for a doctor, people think, hey, this is a perfect time for me to talk to my aunt that I haven't talked to in 300 years on speakerphone in front of everybody. And we're going to talk about her bowel movements and the infection on her toe.
That's what's up.
I mean, I was dying to hear that information about Aunt Rita, weren't you?
Oh, of course. Good old Aunt Rita.
So, just share the knowledge and share the wealth and share the love of Two Wannabe Athletes Talk Sports.
Guys, we're on all things social media. We're on Facebook. We do constant questions and polls and tournament shit and whatever. Go join up on there. Follow us on there. See what we're doing. Give us your input on there. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on the Tick of Talk. We're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You can always email us, talk about us, text us if you know us, all that fun shit.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate what we're doing. We appreciate you listening. And I guess we'll see you next time, assholes.
Always a goat.